Cuando yo llegué a Nueva York estuve muy fascinado por los grandes edificios de la metrópoli y por la tecnología y todo lo que existe aquí. Nunca los tomé en serio, pues no, pues siempre he sido admirador de Latinoamérica. Quiero mucho Latinoamérica y creo que no importa en la ciudad en que me encuentre o en la situación que me encuentre, voy a poder olvidar a mi país y su cultura y su geografía.
When Alfredo Ceibal left his native Guatemala in 1983 and settled in New York, he did not expect to become a painter. Now he's one of the growing number of Latino artists who make a substantial contribution to the North American art scene. He is self-taught and paints in a small studio in Brooklyn. He describes his relationship with New York as a love-hate affair. The richness of the cultural activity in the city provided him with the impetus to become a painter. Yet, despite living here for 8 years, he always paints images from his Latin American past.
Yo nací en un pueblo cerca de la ciudad de Guatemala. Un pueblo bastante interesante, pues a la vez de que estaba cerca de la ciudad de Guatemala, estaba en cierto modo aislado, pues en aquellos días los medios de comunicación no eran como ahora. Este pueblo estaba aislado de la ciudad de Guatemala por unos abismos, unos barrancos, como les llamamos allá, que no tenían comunicación, que no había forma de comunicarse, pues no existían puentes. En este pueblo vivía mucha gente de clase trabajadora que de día iba a la ciudad de Guatemala a trabajar y por la noche volvían. Nunca me interesó mucho la escuela cuando era niño. Me gustaba mucho pasar tiempo en las calles, en los potreros, en los ríos.
Well, at first, the paintings look quite ordinary, and they look very nice and charming and pretty. And then as you keep looking at them, sort of something strange begins to sort of ooze out of them, and you begin to look more deeply into them. They have this dreamlike, oniric quality that draws you in, or they come out at you, or whatever. And it's quite disturbing, really. If you see this, it's like a still from a film or something. You're caught there as though you just walked into the room. You have no idea what went on before, what's going to happen next, and you find yourself sort of concocting what might have happened or who these people are.
My early experience with this kind of couples were my parents, who loved each other very much, who had a very strong relationship. But my father and my mother used to have arguments and fights. But the main element in this painting are the strings, which means that you are the one who can have the control in a relationship. When I conceive an idea and when I actually paint it, I tend to exaggerate characters and views. This distortion of a reality gives you a different order, and therefore in this order you can find other answers to a reality.
I think the fact that Ceibal still, all of his work is still about Guatemala is very typical. I think especially when you leave a country that's in such turmoil, it comes with you. I doubt if he can almost paint anything but that.
no se puede recordar ninguna época guatemalteca sin que no haya tenido dificultades políticas. Y a propósito, no se puede recordar tampoco ninguna época latinoamericana en la cual no hayan existido golpes militares y revueltas públicas, etc. De modo que creo que en todo guatemalteco siempre habrá un recuerdo que tenga que ver con inestabilidad política.
So I think that may, although Alfredo has been here for quite a long time, that this impetus is, or this necessity may still be part of his imagery, that certain things are down there but are not allowed. Maybe that's what the tipping mountains are about.
In the cover of the trees, the hearts of wolves sing. A macho god is raping a virgin in every flower. The tongue of the wind licks the nettles, dances in the foliage. There are no stars, nor sky, nor paths. Beneath the love of the almond trees, the earth smells of woman's flesh.
I decided to make this painting of Miguel Ángel Asturias because I became very aware of Guatemalan history, modern history, and ancient history through Miguel Ángel Asturias literature. Miguel Ángel Asturias was an admirer of the Indian group, which covers the 78% population in Guatemala, and he was a mediator between the Ladino groups and the Indian groups. The painting gives us a very balanced and quiet mood, and I think that Miguel Ángel Asturias really, his dream was to achieve through his writing, to achieve this balance and harmony.
Of course, the obsession with death in Latin American painting, which looks so peculiar to North Americans and Europeans, is seen very differently in Latin America, just as a part of life. It's death is what happens after you're born. You're moving toward death, and it's not as traumatic or grisly or morbid or whatever as we tend to see it. And those images are throughout Ceibal's work. It's something pre-Columbian that comes from the pre-Columbian cultures, and that a great many people, no matter how well-educated or sophisticated they are in Latin America, and especially Guatemala, I think, which is such a large Indian population, that just surfaces in the culture. And it's there in Alfredo's work with a vengeance. It is this kind of dancing, the happy dancing kind of turns into a dance of death.
Those two are, they had too much to drink. They, actually in a funeral, you eat and drink a lot. And the funeral is an opportunity to, it's not, you just don't go to the funeral to cry for the death, but actually you go there to eat, to sing, to gossip, to learn about the new jokes. And possibly many times you meet people there, you know, like, who knows, one of these guys might meet this girl and then another marriage might come out of this funeral.
There's also a sort of erotic element in Ceibal's paintings, which adds to this sense of sort of mystery and menace. There's some kind of conjunction of sex and death, very, very understated, almost lost in these huge spaces, but there somehow. I don't know whether that has to do with the fact that the whole art world is very much preoccupied at the moment with AIDS, because we lose people daily. There's one painting, for instance, of a young man who could be dead or could be asleep, lying on a bed in a sort of purplish room. And there's a moon out the window, kind of beaming in on him in an eerie sort of light, and a large crucifix on the wall. And I read this as a kind of resurrection image, or a rebirth image, which is also very strong in pre-Columbian religions, and is a hopeful image in this moment of lack of hope for a lot of people.
La pintura, a medida que ha ido evolucionando, se ha vuelto un poco más surrealista por el hecho de que hay más desorden de elementos. El tema de lo que es la muerte me ha fascinado bastante también, y el tema de lo que es el amor y lo que es el espíritu en sí me ha fascinado bastante. Algunos de mis cuadros los colores han cambiado y se han puesto un poco más oscuros y un poco más misteriosos, podríamos decir. Me ha interesado mucho lo que sería después de que este mundo dejara de existir.